Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely flip the way you think about your physical health, focusing on the 42 rule and brain satiety hacking. It's time to just forget the old rules of dieting and willpower. For this explainer, we're framing the human body exactly for what it is. It's basically an incredibly advanced programmable operating system. And just like any computer, if you know the right codes, you can absolutely learn to master it, override its default settings, and really optimize its performance. We're looking at how global health experts are literally rewriting the rulebook on human biology right now, and honestly, the insights are genuinely fascinating.
So I want you to be totally honest with yourself for a second here. When you sit down for a meal, are you truly eating? Or are you just sort of mindlessly refueling your body while staring at a screen? It's a massive distinction. Because if you know how the brain software actually works, you can absolutely trick it into feeling full way before you've overeaten. We call this brain satiety hacking, and it is hands down one of the most powerful and completely free tools you have at your disposal.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our agenda for today. First, we'll cover the modern health crisis. Number 2, hacking brain satiety. Number 3, tracking your biology. And finally, number 4, personalized preventive health. Starting right off with Section 1, the modern health crisis, and exactly why our fast-paced lives are making us sick. So experts like Dr. Sajeev Nair point out a really harsh reality about our current world. Right now, we don't really have a global health industry, right? We have a sickness industry. Think about it. Pharmaceuticals, hospitals, scan centers, they mostly just exist to deal with you after you're already sick. And there is this huge divide in how we respond to that, specifically in how we eat. Look at the mindless eater. That's most of us on a random Tuesday. Shoveling food in with our eyes glued to a phone or TV, swallowing after maybe 5 quick chews, all while our bodies are just flooded with cortisol from daily stress. But then contrast that with the biohacker. This approach is meticulous. It's mindful. It's about chewing a deliberate 40 times and actively controlling your nervous system. The mindless eater's brain doesn't even register that a meal is happening because it's just way too distracted by the screen. And speaking of stress, a prominent French wellness creator recently broke down how our chaotic routines completely destroy our metabolism. Basically, if you skip breakfast or drastically restrict your early food intake while you're heavily stressed out, your body panics. Your brain literally perceives a threat, spikes your cortisol, and you end up in this dangerous state of undernutrition. And what does the body do when it's stressed and undernourished? It aggressively hoards fat, specifically abdominal fat. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism, and we're just triggering it every single day by mistake. Moving on to Section 2, hacking brain satiety, and what we call the 42 loophole. Okay, so we are going to talk about a very specific biological backdoor that preventative health experts use to exploit the brain's hardwired programming. Let's just walk through the exact mechanism of this hack, because it's elegantly simple but biologically profound. Step 1, you take a bite. Step 2, you chew exactly 40 times. Step 3, this prolonged chewing gives your body the necessary time to secrete vital digestive enzymes. And Step 4, this triggers the brain's early satiety program. I always like to picture this as a little stickman animation inside your brain, holding a clipboard and just meticulously tallying up every single chew. The brain actually tracks the total number of jaw movements. It's expecting around 200 to 300 chews per meal to finally signal that you are full. Now, here's the catch. Food actually liquefies in your mouth after only about 20 chews. Physiologically speaking, it's ready to swallow at that point. But if you stop at 20, you literally have to eat twice as much food just to reach that 200 chew quota your brain is desperately looking for. So here is where the hack comes in. By intentionally pushing past that liquefaction point and chewing 40 times per bite, you are specifically faking the brain out. You hit that 200 chew quota in half the time on half the food, which stops you from overeating before it even happens. As Dr. Sajeev Nair brilliantly puts it, the brain is a programmed organ taking the path of least resistance. It doesn't really want to think, it just runs its ancient scripts. If it wants 200 chews, give it 200 chews as efficiently as possible. You can quite literally fake it till you make it. Tricking your brain with this chew count is the ultimate, entirely free micro-hack for managing your weight and optimizing your digestion. It's just a game changer. Which brings us to Section 3. Tracking your biology, or as the biohacking community likes to call it, quantifying the self. So once you master a micro habit like chewing, you naturally start wondering, well, what else can I control? Because at the end of the day, you can't manage what you don't measure. And the tools available to us now, they are genuinely mind-blowing. We've got smart rings that track over 30 parameters, things like heart rate variability and respiratory rate, all in real time. We have apps breaking down your deep sleep versus your REM sleep. We've got daily body temperature tracking. We even have devices like NeuroSim and Sensate that literally stimulate your vagus nerve to physically force your body out of fight or flight and right into chill mode. Tech entrepreneur Brian Johnson famously used this exact type of intense tracking to achieve 8 straight months of 100% perfect sleep scores. No way, right? But it's true.
And speaking of Brian Johnson, over a 2-year period of strict metabolic tracking and optimization, his average daily body temperature dropped from a standard 98.7 degrees all the way down to 93.9. That is a massive physiological shift. It indicates a heavily optimized, cooler, and highly efficient metabolic system. And it was all achieved because he tracked the data every single day. But tracking your biology also makes you painfully aware of exactly what you are putting into your body. This level of extreme dietary precision leads biohackers to some pretty fascinating habits. For instance, eating entirely out of non-corrosive food-grade stainless steel just to avoid the microplastics and toxins found in normal containers. It also means relying on highly tested inputs. We're talking consuming exactly 15 milliliters of lab-tested extra virgin olive oil with every single meal. Why? Because as they test foods, they find staggering amounts of heavy metals even in supposedly healthy organic vegetables like broccoli. Yeah, organic broccoli.
That leads us perfectly into Section 4, personalized preventive health, and why there is absolutely no one-size-fits-all approach. If there is one crucial thing this whole data revolution has taught us, it's that true health optimization is entirely unique to your specific DNA. What heals one person might completely harm another, and to understand why, you really have to understand epigenetics. This is basically the study of how your behaviors and your environment cause changes that affect the way your genes work. Your DNA contains the accumulated code of 8,000 generations of human history. The best analogy I've heard? Your genes are like loaded guns, but your lifestyle is the trigger. You might carry the gene for a terrible disease, sure, but if you don't pull the trigger with poor lifestyle choices, that gene stays asleep.
Let me give you a phenomenal, concrete example of this from Dr. Nair's own genetic testing. So he actually carries the genetic variant for coronary artery disease, which is a highly dangerous heart condition. But his DNA mapping revealed that the specific trigger for his gene is a deficiency in vitamin B9, or folate. So by simply ensuring his B9 levels are always optimal, he can keep that deadly heart disease gene permanently switched off. I mean, that is the true power of personalized preventative health.
And this is exactly why we have to stop following blind trends. The keto diet and aggressive fasting, they might be amazing for certain metabolic profiles. But peptide and hormone expert Natalie Nidham, who has a Mediterranean genetic physiology, found that it completely wrecked her system. Or take the Blueprint protocol, great for extreme anti-aging, but it is incredibly restrictive. Peptides are fantastic for lean mass, but without customized blood work, they can cause severe immune reactions. You absolutely have to find what works for your specific operating system. When we combine these microhabits, data tracking, and epigenetics, the timeline of human health changes drastically. Look at this progression. We are moving from the 2000s era of the sickness industry right through the 2020s era of wearables toward an incredible milestone. Leading scientists actually project that through AI, genomic testing, and personalized protocols, we could see the total eradication of all lifestyle diseases by the year 2045. Just imagine a world where conditions like type 2 diabetes and preventable heart disease simply do not exist. So the crucial point I want to leave you with today is this. The science, the tech, and the data, they are all here. You hold the pen to your own genetic script, whether it's something as incredibly simple as counting out 40 chews at your next meal to hack your brain's satiety, or as advanced as mapping your DNA to silence disease. The choice is ultimately yours. Are you going to just keep blindly surviving your fast-paced life, or are you ready to take control of the narrative and really start hacking your biology? I hope this explainer gave you some powerful, practical tools to kickstart your journey.